I just spent all this money on like the new desk and a chair and some other random things. Like I had to talk myself into accepting the fact of spending this money. It's like, it's an investment. You're improving your life by having a hamper as opposed to a giant bag that you once got groceries in to put your laundry. Like,
that's fair.
Yes, that is
stop being homeless.
That's a market. That's a better way to do
Hampers
things.
aren't that expensive.
They're not. But the hamper came after the desk, after the new chair, after the lights that I had to buy once I realized my desk is too dark.
Yeah,
Like, I've spent several $100s in the last week.
and you are cheap.
And I am cheap.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
like, I did have to, like, talk myself into, like, these are investments of, like, making you
An adult.
more of an adult.
Yes, it's.
I now want to see these things that you invested in. Like, what's this table look like? What's this chair look like? What's this lamp look like?
Well, you can Google
Cindy.
Google image the IKEA Mickey with no Y.
Oh, okay.
That's my desk.
Send him links.
I don't want to go through all the links while I'm talking.
Well, I didn't say do it now.
Nah.
Oh.
I got a very generic gaming chair
Amazon?
for my desk on Amazon for like $140 or $150, I forget.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Damn.
It's got a like a fold out leg rest.
Nice.
Yeah.
I assume it also reclines.
Yes, of course it does.
Oh, send me a link to that shit. I need a new one.
All right, sure.
Just gonna fall asleep in that chair.
I got a pack of 6 color-changing LED lights
Nice.
to kind of put in the crevices, so I can have lights. Despite the fact that I have a ceiling light, I guess because I sit in front between the light and the desk, just everything is dark.
Yeah.
So I need light on my desk.
Yeah.
And then, like, after all that, plus, you know, buying the desk originally, like, last night, I'm looking around my room, like, okay, like, thinking about future plans. I plan on buying the extension off the desk to get some more shelving and kind of table space. I'm like, I should get a hamper. Like, I've been using the same Amazon Fresh bag to put my clothes in because it's big and durable. You know, like,
Yeah.
it's better than the Comic-Con bags I was using
Comic-Con
before
bag.
that.
The old Comic-Con bags, though.
Yeah.
They were actually
the
good.
new ones suck. Like, this is what I use, not just to carry my laundry from my room to the washer, but, like, in general, it acts as my hamper. This giant green heavy duty Amazon Fresh bag. So, like, in bed, I'm just like, I should just get a hamper, like, and be like a regular person. So I was going through, and, like, it's less than $20, or I think it's like right around $20 with tax. But, like, just to buy one more thing.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you already spent all this money. You
Yeah.
might as well just go all in.
Like, I also bought a 6-pack of Brita filters. I bought, I think there's a couple other, like, I need, like, food or whatever things. And there's more stuff I could use for that, for, like, the house and for cleaning stuff. But it's just, it gets tough. Like, my bank account is bigger than it's been in, like, 20 years. And, like, I'm feeling real Scrooge about it.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. Like,
Ditto.
more money than I've ever thought I'd ever have.
Yep.
In life. But I'm like,
And
do I have to spend this money right now? I don't think so.
It's one of those things you have to really sit down and think to yourself, is this a want or is it a need?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And it's always, I need this. But
Wow.
I get
I've
it
needed
anyway.
a lot of things and finally got a lot of things.
Good for you.
Yeah, but I think Steph has a shopping problem.
Hey!
I mean, you guys should...
She's an impulse buyer. We established that last
Yeah.
week.
That
My
is
thing
true.
is, I've never had money that I can splurge on, so I'm splurging finally.
Mm-hmm. Just remember, Civil War
Treat
II.
yourself.
Civil War II coming. You're going to need to barter some of that shit.
Well, see, that's the thing. You buy all the stuff now, so you have more stuff to barter with later.
Toilet paper is going to be high in demand.
Oh yeah, we already have an extra pack. I bought that a month ago.
A single extra
I gotta
pack.
check on my supply again.
I haven't stepped into a
not running too
Costco for
long.
like a
Costco
good
does
month and a
delivery.
half. They
do?
do.
They do.
I don't have Costco.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, if you know someone who's got Costco, maybe they, throw in on their order or something.
I mean, if I went to a Costco, I'd probably drop you off an order and then pick up my Roku.
Make an order with you. Was it your Roku? I thought it was Jordan's.
No, this one's mine.
Oh.
I think there's a Roku and there's like games in there because I thought
Yeah,
you
there's a
would
couple
play
games in the bag. I actually just plugged that Roku in yesterday.
Oh! Did you use it? Are you using it
No.
though? Oh,
No.
He just plugged it in.
just plugged it in.
Like I've just been putting on like trash television because I'm trying to focus on like cleaning the room. Like to build this desk, I had maybe not even a foot of extra space in 2 of the 4 planes of room.
Yeah.
So I had to
Yeah.
build it up. At one point, I literally am on my back with my feet holding up the surface because I haven't built all the legs yet. Because the legs, it's complicated.
It's
I built.
IKEA.
I actually have that desk in the other room.
Okay,
why didn't
yeah.
you? Why didn't you just like build it on your bed?
Because then I'd have to pick it up and like flip it, carry it over the previous table because I couldn't break down the table until I had the desk. That's
Gotcha,
why I was
gotcha,
so
gotcha.
limited on space.
All right, yeah.
So
That
once
makes
I had
sense
the
then.
desk set up, then I could start moving things onto the table or onto the desk off the table and break the table down. It was complicated,
No. Well,
but
I'm happy you got
I'm
your desk.
yeah, I'm happier already. The room is way bigger.
There's so much room for activities.
Yeah. My little Roomba was so joyful coming in and just be like, oh my God, so much room to play and roam about. And then I'm like, hey, stop eating my shoelaces, asshole. You fucking
Now
idiot
you,
robot.
now you gotta get a shoe rack,
Easy.
or maybe just build one.
I could build one, but it just wouldn't look good. Things I build are rarely attractive, but often functional.
They have a
That's
nice
the
shoe
thing.
rack on Amazon for like $24.
Easy. I just
Sure.
bought a hamper.
Yeah, or he could just build a functional shoe rack, just paint it black, and be like, "Yeah, I found it on the side of the road." That's what you tell people. You don't have to let them know that you built it.
Leland, you want to tell them about that time you came over for a podcast, and I asked you to help me carry a cabinet out of the alley
No,
because I wanted
that's
it.
pretty much the whole story right there. I mean, it was heavy as fuck.
It was heavy as fuck,
That was it. That's pretty much the whole story. As exciting as that
but
is.
it had a nice like
No, it was
glass
a piece of
door.
Shit. It was heavy.
It was not a piece of
It
shit.
was heavy,
It was heavy.
Therefore, it's a piece of shit.
It was heavy, gently used, but had a full like display cabinet, so I could put
Put stuff
like
on it.
displayable figures and collectibles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have something like that. My ex at the time did not want it
Oh.
and said because we drove out of the place we were in and I saw it and I stopped in the alley and I'm like, that looks pretty good. That looks like it's in pretty good condition. And I think I forget if I got out that time or I got out and looked at it when I got home. But she's like, all right, well, if it's still there tonight, then you could bring it in. And luckily it was.
Jeez.
And then I left it with her to be her problem.
You know what? That's
So-
always fun.
So I won in that.
That's
That
always
is not your problem anymore.
Yeah.
More ways than one.
There you go.
You know, when you got a lot of, random stuff that looks cool, it's an issue. Displaying, you want to display all the things.
Yeah. That's very
yeah,
true.
That's true. That
Yeah.
is true.
Oh yeah, I impulsively bought a Gambit Pop
Oh.
because I either had forgotten or I did not know before that they existed, and I paid extra for the glow in the dark cards.
There's glow in the dark cards for it?
Fuck
See,
yeah!
maybe.
Well, there's there's the Entertainment Earth exclusive where his eyes and the cards he's throwing in that like classic Gambit way, where they glow in the dark. So I'm like, fuck yeah, that's the one I want.
Well, sometimes you just gotta treat yourself.
That's the problem. I'm treating myself a lot.
But
You
have to
deserve
do
it.
sometimes. Yeah, you gotta do it for you. Know what I'm saying? It's like how I've been sitting around just watching so much anime and playing Final Fantasy 14.
You blow another $100 on anime this week?
No, I did not actually. Not yet. But I started watching this show, this anime. It's called Kakegurui, which basically means compulsive gambler. It's a Netflix published anime, and boy, is it intense!
Like in what capacity is it intense?
Well, so the anime is about this school where the main pastime is gambling, and then people they're all rich kids. So
okay, I think I've seen this. Well, I think I've seen it on Hulu.
It'll probably be on Netflix.
Is there a lot of red in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, lots of red. Main character, her eyes turn red whenever she gets into her gambler mode.
Yes, I have seen trailers for this.
Yeah, that trailer just lets you know exactly how that show goes. She seems totally fine. The main character seems totally fine, and then she flips the switch, and then she goes pure like psycho crazy pants, and it's great.
All right.
Like,
is it good though? Like the trailer couldn't sell me on it.
I just realized I'm on like the 12th episode, and I like just started a couple days ago. Like I'm surprised at how quickly I've gone through this anime.
Okay.
Like, at least I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Plus, I've been trying to get Steph to watch other shows like Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions and Konosuba.
Yeah, I watched anime this weekend. I watched a whole season of Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions. And then I rewatched Silent... Okay.
Oh god, A Silent Voice?
First, I smoked the other night. And then I watched A Silent Voice. And I did not stop crying the whole time.
A Silent Voice is it's an anime movie about this deaf girl who gets just relentlessly bullied in 6th grade, and then like her main bully he goes through a bunch of stuff. He gets bullied himself, then he gets to the point where he just almost kills himself, but he wants to go to apologize to her first, and then that's what kicks off the rest of the movie.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, that movie, oof, that's rough. It's a rough movie.
Yeah,
it's good. It's really good, but ooh, is it rough?
I forgot how rough it was, and then I started thinking, like, is the weed kicking in? No. It was rough. I was like, this really hurts. And I was just bawling my eyes out. That was my Sunday.
Glad.
Also,
it was cathartic, I guess.
Huh?
Yeah, it was cathartic. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I started watching.
I also started. Go for it, Leland. Go for it.
I started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, I just put that on my list because I need to actually start watching it.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I mean, I haven't watched all of it, but like trusted people that I know are big fans of it.
Yeah,
and it's won prestigious awards.
Yeah, I like it. All right, that's about it on that.
Here's the thing: Avatar is an anime, but it's a Western anime. A lot of people discount it for being a Western animation thing, so they say it's not anime. But that show is anime as fuck.
In theme and spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's straight up an anime. Like it hits all the things that anime needs to be, aside from being made by a Japanese company. Yeah. But yeah, Avatar is one of those shows where I've always wanted to watch it, but then I just like didn't use cable for a very long time. So when I did have cable, I'd catch an episode here or there, but never in chronological order. There are different books. I don't know what's going on. So like it was, for what I saw, it's pretty cool, but I never knew what was going on in it. So I'm looking forward to actually watching through the entire thing.
Yeah.
Now that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's it's a quick watch. Like, I put it on in the background, so, like...
Yeah.
Have you met Toph yet?
I don't know what that means.
Have you met the blind girl yet?
No.
I think she'll be your jam.
Okay.
I think you're gonna like her.
So far,
check back in when you get that far.
So far, my favorite character is the flying bison. Because it doesn't talk. So...
You like weird things about stories.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of... they're kids.
Yes, it is a kids show.
Right. I get it. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, oh yeah, you're a bunch of fucking kids running around. Like, all right, just get to where you need to go. You know, they gotta stop.
It will mature up. It will mature up. I think by the end of the first season.
It's just one of those things. They're like, oh, we're flying. We got to go to the North Pole to like learn water dancing or some shit. And then they're like, oh wait, let's go surfing. I'm like, do we need to go surfing? I mean, you would only do that
there
if
always
you're
has
kids.
to be a beach episode. That's why it's an anime. There's a mandatory beach episode.
I mean, they keep telling us time is an essence and he must complete these tasks before the summer solstice, but surfing doesn't seem to be on that summer solstice timeline.
The Fire Nation is coming.
Yeah, I'm just like, you guys got to get your shit together.
Jesus Christ.
Real lackadaisical for saving the world.
Yeah, kind of. I was like, all right. Do you want to get into DJ Leland?
DJ Leland!
Hey.
So, all right. So I wrote down what you guys suggested that I listen to as far as the rap music goes.
From last week,
and
when we gave you a long list of things.
Yeah. So if I could read my handwriting, I found it.
Okay.
If I didn't, then, well, you know, we'll just chalk that up to, hey, that's a thing that happened.
Okay.
I'm very curious your thoughts and what you managed to listen to.
Yeah, I thought of so many things I should have recommended, but oh well.
So I had a real hard time remembering what I wrote / couldn't remember what you called it. Mega Ren Avalanche? Is that a thing? Did I write that?
Mega Ren Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Okay,
yeah, Mega Ren, the song is
because
Avalanche.
Apparently I wrote it all wrong. But
okay.
I did
Jordan
not,
Link, the man.
I did not enjoy Pimp Butterfly. Like that was
To Pimp
not,
a Butterfly.
That was not for me. Like,
I would agree that's probably not high odds.
When it started, I was like, oh no. Right away, I was just like,
how much of it did you sample?
30 seconds. I was like, I'm out. This is not.
Oh,
for me.
all right. So you didn't even try.
No, he came at me very hard. Like I was just like,
but like 30 seconds of the first track and you quit.
Well, when that wasn't a song.
At least watch or listen to the song "All Right" because it's very relevant for right now.
I did try to listen to that alphabet one you guys recommended.
Oh, the alphabet. Alphabet.
The one that Harry Potter did.
Yes.
Not even watching him made that song good for me. Like I was just
what?
No, this song is. There's just nothing to it. It's just a really good rap, but there's no beat to it. For me,
it's showing off technical prowess. It is
correct.
I would say it's a lyricist's like how you and I will call some artists like an artist,
right?
Like when it's kind of inside baseball to kind of see the talent there. I would say like Alphabet Aerobics is a lyricist's like jam.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah.
Okay. I'm disappointed, but okay.
I respect it. It just wasn't one I was into.
Okay. Not what you're looking for.
No. I have highlighted Twista, so I must have enjoyed that one, but I couldn't tell you right now what the fuck that was.
Slow jams.
Oh, slow jams?
Yeah. I must have enjoyed it because I highlighted it.
Because he wants Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross.
The difference at this party I find.
That's fun.
The one that I enjoyed the most, but also upset me that I enjoyed the most, was Fade.
Oh, you loved it? Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video?
Yes, the video
with Tiana Taylor
was very uncomfortable. Like I wasn't quite sure. I was just like, are women really built like that? How much of her is fake? How much of her is real?
I think she's
built
Tiana
like
Taylor.
that.
In the end, when they become cat people, I was like, I don't know what just happened. Like, it's just,
Okay, I'm gonna have to look this up.
it got real wild real quick. But why I was upset was I was like, motherfucker, am I a Kanye fan? Like, and that really upset me.
Well, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go. Here's the thing about Kanye. He makes amazing music. Amazing music. The person himself, not the best person.
No, he is a musical genius. I know.
It's the same conundrum you have with a lot of artists. You know, with Michael Jackson. Like, the man versus the art. It's tough. You don't want to like the other one, but the art itself is objectively good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's everyone's individual kind of decision where they draw the line. But yeah, fucking Kanye makes for the most part pretty great music.
I know. So it got me in a Saints Row mood. So I've been playing Saints Row 3 again.
Nice.
I've been living out my gangster lifestyle this week. So you know that's how I roll.
Yeah, no, the first time I heard Fade, I think I played that straight for a good, 4 hours of work, just looping, and each time was I was moving. It was great.
The problem is we recommended I do this when Lady Gaga dropped her new album this last week. So that's kind of all that's been really on repeat. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
But two of the albums I should have recommended last week was Flower Boy and Igor by Tyler the Creator.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, you said Flower Boy?
Yeah, Flower Boy and Igor by Tyler the Creator.
Oh, yeah.
Like Igor as in, he helped make Frankenstein spelling?
Yeah, IGOR.
Okay. Yeah. just making sure that,
Pronounced Igor.
Yes.
It's pronounced Igor.
But, yeah.
That made me happy. I wanted to at least have one song of mine be one you liked.
I mean, that video was insane because, her body was so circles. Yeah, it was it was big but muscular in areas where you're like, I don't know what that is. And her breasts were so large. I was like, how does her back must hurt all the time.
Yeah.
They were just so large.
Tiana Taylor, she powerful.
What is she? Is she a model? A fighter? What is she?
She's clearly a dancer.
Right, but are you watching the video right now?
I'm watching it right now.
I can see it in the reflection of your glasses. So
her butt, oh my god, it's so lifted and plump. I was like, it could look like that. Yeah, it was great.
Well, genetics, I'm sure, helps a lot. Ooh. So,
yeah.
I mean...
a lot of working out.
Yeah, that's all that woman does.
Yeah. Working out and dancing.
What you're seeing, that's that black girl magic. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing.
I mean, she's stunningly beautiful. I was just I was taken aback. I was like, oh my god, this woman is absolutely gorgeous. And... she scares me because she's so she's so muscular. Yeah.
She's just muscular and just sweaty and just
fine as hell.
And the beat is hard.
The beat is great.
It was halfway through. I'm like, should this woman be the new Storm? And then it was just I don't know. Can she act? It's
I mean, if she can, then yes, please.
I mean, she's apparently she's an American singer, songwriter / actress, dancer, choreographer, director, and model.
That's a lot.
That's too many things.
Yep.
You're not good at all those things.
You gotta take out two of
but
those.
I believe it, though. I believe it.
I believe the model dancer part that she's good because I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can only go up with the role of Storm at this point, so...
I don't hate the girl who plays her in the...
Alexandra,
I like her.
She is fine.
Yes.
for those movies.
I wish he had more to do.
Yes.
I wish he was in a better movie.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, at least her African accent sounded somewhat legitimate. Because, you know, my joke by...
I mean, just being consistent would have been an improvement.
I mean,
regardless of the choice you make.
By X2, they just told Halle Berry not to even try. They're like, you've lived in America long enough. You've lost it. It's like...
Do you know what happens to a toad that's hit by lightning? Same thing as everything else.
I mean, no, my favorite...
Cool.
My favorite one is when... when Wolverine's just like, what do you want me to do? Be an X-Man? And she said, at least I have chosen a side. And I'm like, that was it? That was your comeback? Oh, bro, you gotta lay it down further than that. He's leaving.
She just became a cat person.
I honestly don't remember the cat part.
What happened?
It makes no sense to that video whatsoever for her to
it
become
just
a
all
cat
of a sudden
person.
happened.
This
was not foreshadowed.
Nope. Nothing in that video says these people are going to become cats.
And it still looks better than the movie Cats.
Oh.
I have that movie. I acquired it.
No, I really want to watch that shit show.
Maybe a month ago, and I still have not really had the balls to watch it.
I think society is going through way too much right now. I don't need to throw that on my plate either.
Is there anything else on your list, Leland?
No, that's the only ones I could really make out because my handwriting is fucking terrible. Like I
is
see
there anything in there that you kind of think you just don't know all of it?
No, I'm good.
Like, well, I mean, we definitely suggest you go back and find Mega Ran's Avalanche.
I mean, I definitely would like to give the Roots a try. I know I wrote that down. I just didn't have time this week to do that. You know, well, I mean, look,
no worries.
I'll find the time because
listen, I'm glad you did it at all.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, nah, he may do maybe some of this, like not all. We're throwing a lot at him.
Yeah.
This maybe won't happen. I honestly didn't expect it to happen within the week.
Well, I mean,
I thought maybe this would be a thing like you get time to do.
I say I don't have a lot of time, but let's be honest, we all have a lot of time right now.
I'm just excited for the future where, you know, we walk into the store and we just hear Fade playing.
In the grocery store?
No, the comic book store.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Fantastic.
if there's a comic book store to go to work to tomorrow, so.
All right. We're clearly heading into the direction.
Oh boy.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's address.
That wasn't my way to get negative. It just was a thought that came passing, and I shared it out loud. That was my bad.
That's all right.
It's okay. We have topics to talk about because
there are things.
About.
There are things happening that are too big to pretend like that they're not happening.
On top of the pandemic.
Yes.
Oh God.
And we didn't,
I have a lot
we didn't
to say.
skirt that issue either.
That's the one thing that's been bothering me a lot.
As it should, because it's gonna get real bad in about 2 weeks from now.
Because people forgot that's the A plot of the of the timeline.
Do you remember
that puts us in the second act of this movie?
Yes. I'm afraid to find out what the third act is.
Godzilla coming out of the ocean, he's pissed.
I mean, at this point, why not?
Let's see. I forgot if this discussion was talked about last week, but how I said I went out I was tuning into people's IG stories, and it finally seemed like things were normal. Kind of, sort of.
You caused all this.
In the sense of nobody's wearing masks anymore. Bars are opening up. Restaurants are taking people to dine in. And then Friday, the Westfield Mall opened, and then the rest of the weekend turned into shit.
Yeah. Just to, put a beginning to it. This past weekend has been complete insanity. I don't know if anyone even listens outside of America. So like clearly, all of you people know.
Are you saying we don't have listeners on the tip of Africa?
We might. I don't know. I haven't looked at the demographics lately.
If we do, hello.
What up? What's it like where you live? Better, I hope. But like we didn't skirt the pandemic issue. We've talked about it, the weird and the bad, and we've talked about a lot of other issues. We like to be something fun for the week for people who do listen to us, but like honestly, this has consumed my entire weekend. Like I'm on my back, feet up, holding up this desk to fucking put things together, and I'm also feeling sad and helpless and frustrated that I feel like there's nothing I can do. And I understand that there are some things, but my frustration personally is just I can't do I can't say the magic words that fix things. I can't punch the right person to change everything.
Yeah.
Like I personally am finding it so depressing to see just really a curtain open up. I think a curtain opened up this weekend that really revealed like major issues to more than the people who had kind of paid attention to civil unrest and to the violence on specifically black people, but minorities in general, from like police, the people who are hired and trained to protect us. And this weekend with peaceful protests, I mean, I assume just all of them turned bad at some point.
No, not all of them. You have to search real hard to find the really nice photos, but they're out there, and they are worth looking at if you're just feeling down. Yeah.
By Sunday, I started seeing some things that made me feel better.
Yeah. But you're always going to hear the negative. Like, you know what I mean? That's their goal.
Yeah. So, just to kind of give focus to the next 30 minutes or something, let me throw out something that I kind of have struggled with this weekend as far as my personal views. I am absolutely appalled at the violence that police have always had against all minorities, and I understand the rage and just the lashing out back at society and everything. So a lot of these peaceful protests have turned violent pretty much when cops start abusing their power, and they have turned to riots. We have had a riot here in San Diego, specifically in the town of La Mesa. Several banks have burned down. Target, like a whole Target burned down. And that Target is in a mall. Like, that is not like a standalone building. An entire mall had the potential to burn down. And I understand the rage, but what I struggle with is still not completely condoning it, because I don't care about the things. I care about the people who now don't have jobs the next day. And so I find myself struggling because I want to be supportive, and I don't want to, stomp anyone's emotions down. They deserve it. It's well deserved. But I just also think about the people and the ramifications thereafter.
Yeah.
And I think that's a totally fine place to be at, because I understand the protests, I understand the riots, I understand what's going on. I don't necessarily agree with the destruction of property and the looting and all that, but I understand for the most part why people are doing it, be it because they're angry, be it because they feel slighted, be it because they're just trying to get them some because they haven't had any in their lives.
They've had so much taken away. It's time to take back in a night of rage.
Yeah. Like, I get all that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do. I'm gonna take this stance. I do not give a shit about the banks that burned down, about the Target that burned down, about the Vons that was looted. I don't give a shit about those. I give a shit about the mom and pop shops that got looted, that got broken into, that got ransacked for no fucking reason.
I do think that is another level of fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a chain, fuck it. Like, I don't want those people to not have jobs, but I'm not sad. I'm not going to cry a single tear for Target.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to mention Target came out and said, fuck it, it's just stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Props to the Target CEO, whatever his name is. Fucking good dude. He's like, the stuff in the store isn't worth the death of a single person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it was real or not, but I saw a tweet from Sony saying, like, you know, they're closing their stores and they're standing in solidarity with everyone else for what's going on. And someone said, "Oh, like everyone's gonna come and steal your stuff." And like, bro, who gives a shit about our stuff? It doesn't compare to a life. That's not what they actually said, but that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Summarize.
like when it comes to these corporations, like, who gives a fuck if Adidas was robbed? Who gives a fuck?
They have all the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, Melrose Mac.
Yeah,
like,
Melrose
bro, it's
Mac.
Mac.
Or
Like,
Flight
it's an Apple store. Like, who gives a shit?
I mean, I was at work today pulling books, and I ran into my boss before I left, or before he left, and he's like, "I'm sorry you had to come in today," and I was like, "It's my job.
Yeah.
Like, I have to work to survive, and this is part of the gig." And he was just like, "Right, but like, it's dangerous, and you shouldn't have to be here, and I should be here." And I was just like, "Yeah, but I'm an adult, and I got to work, and." You know, and I don't know if I'll have a store to go to work to tomorrow. I'm positively optimistic. I probably will, because from where our protest was in Burbank was like a mile or two away from where my store's at. And, you know, and at the end of the day, I was like, well, looters are lazy, and they're only going to go for what's in front of them. They're not going to drive another 2 miles to go after that one spot. I mean, they might. I'm not saying they would, but I'm like,
but like the direction of like where I feel like the violence in your area of Burbank, I don't think it would head down that street.
No,
I think it would go towards the shopping center.
And that's where the protest was, and that's why Paul, my boss, was just like, well, I'm not putting up boards. He's just like, they want in, they want in. He's just like, he's like, we have insurance and I don't care anymore. And I was just like, okay, well, I need you to care a little bit. You know, just like,
well, just take these things, you know.
Like, you know, just on top of like, and he was like, I'm real stressed, and I've never seen him so down, and it was really disheartening, because it's like, on one hand, you know, business is not great because we just had a 2-month off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're trying to get back into gear. And businesses, you know, we have our good days and bad days, and I can't get customers into the store because they're afraid to come in, they're going to get sick and die. And now they're afraid they're going to come in and get sick and die, on top of being beaten up by the National Guard rolling by the store. And I was just like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. You know, we do curbside pickup. you can stay in your car and just, I'll throw your books at you, you know. But like Jordan was saying, like, or Anthony was saying, well, I don't know, one of you two brilliant people was saying something about like, about the, it's the ma and pop shops, and I'm affected by that theory.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, especially because he kind of told me the shop's going to be mine someday, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Like,
now you care.
Well, I've always cared, but like now I really care. I'm like, God damn it, you know. So it's just like, I think of it as it's my own livelihood as well now, and it is. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, you know. And so I don't know. He isn't too concerned, so I just kind of like, okay, you know. He said he took all the big books and did stuff with them. I mean, I found them, so I was just like, okay, you didn't do as much as I thought you did. Like, I was just like, okay.
So you didn't take them off the property, you just hid them.
I was like,
I'm just going to put in the secret compartment. They'll never find it.
I was kind of like, maybe.
Listen, everything you have in there is flammable.
Yeah.
You're a giant tinderbox.
Yeah.
Hiding the books ain't gonna do shit.
I was like, okay. Like, he took the money out of the register, which I thought was smart, and then he put Now, granted, I came back this morning, so maybe he brought all this back in this morning after leaving it last night. I don't know. But from when I walked in today in the afternoon, like, the register was open to show, like, hey, look, there's no money in here. You don't have to break in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he looked like he just put the money in a paper bag right next to the register. And I was like, I'm going to thank you. You brought that back in with you.
Don't break the register. Yeah. Here's the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
These things are not cheap.
That's actually, like, a known thing, or at least, like, when I was working at Jamba Juice, when we kept getting robbed, because it happened twice, or, like, more times, I forget. We started leaving our registers, like, open to show like there's nothing in here. You're not gonna get anything.
If you want some orange juice, that's all we have.
If you want some frozen fruit, it'll be in the freezer. God,
thaw it out yourself.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. Like Anthony, you were thinking. I agree with you. You're saying like it's hard. You're like, I don't know what to do, and I got real bummed out a little bit because a lot of people were posting that Desmond Tutu quote about like if you're being silent you're part of the oppression, and I was like okay, well then tell me what you want me to say and I won't be silent, because I don't want to be a part of the oppression, but I also don't know what to say, because as a white person I shouldn't say anything. I'm just like I will stand and support, but I don't understand, and I know that, so that's why I'm like, you tell me what you want me to say. If you want me to just sit down, I'll sit down.
You and I, it is not our place to stand on a soapbox and cry out, for everything that's going wrong. Our place is white people, and to use our white privilege is to pick up those who deserve to speak, minorities, and like, I don't want to say this is just an issue with the black people of America, but it is proportionately largest that. But all minorities, like, our white privilege benefits all minorities. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable enough to go to a protest, honestly. Some of it is anxiety. Actually, the more I think about it, it's a lot about anxiety. So I'm like, well, what the fuck can I do? Well, I donated a little money to the NAACP and to the FLOYD, the GoFundMe, or I forget what it was. I can throw a little money, and it's not nothing, but it's not a lot. But the thing is I think this might be something, and tell me if I'm wrong, Steph, but largely a male mentality of like, well, what's the one thing that fixes this? What's the broken piece of this motor that I can just fix and then we're done? Just simple solution. Here's the problem. Here's the answer. Like, I feel it's very ingrained into men that that's just how you do things.
Yeah.
We're not great listeners because we always just want to give you the answer
that we need.
Your problem. Yeah.
They just want to solve everything instead of just listening to the vent.
Yeah, Jordan, let me mansplain Black Lives Matter to you. Is that okay? Let me tell you how it really is.
If there's anything that's been, like, upsetting me, like, the most with what's going on is, one, the people who still say the all lives matter frustrates me. Like, that in itself is, like, how, like, just give them this moment. Just let them have that moment. Because it's, like, I think I forgot if I said this last week, but, like, I was seeing memes about it, and it was just, like, saying that is, like, going to, like, a breast cancer walk and having the nerve to say, well, all cancer matters.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, that's like if your house is on fire and you call the fire department, and like, oh wait, no, all houses matter, so they water every other house and they just wait to get to yours. At this point, the people who respond to Black Lives Matters with all lives matter, they're either just willfully ignorant at this point, or they are just actually racist. Because there is no in between at this point. Because time and time again, it's been explained, Black Lives Matters does not mean that only Black Lives Matter. That's not what it means. It means that Black Lives Matter as well.
Yeah.
That's all it means. That's all we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And but all lives matter in the eyes of God. Like, motherfucker, we're not God though.
Yeah.
None of us are God.
Government is not God.
Yeah, that's like the one frustrating thing that's been like bugging the shit out of me. That and I think another thing that's been like, I get like being like, this is the time to have your voice and be supportive. I also don't think you should harass people like they're not doing anything and then blaming people, because that's kind of what I'm hearing too, in a sense of like what are you doing with your life? Like, you should be out there protesting too. Which,
also, really quick, I do not want another motherfucker coming to me and asking, how are you doing? How should I feel? How are you feeling? I am tired of I'm tired of the questions. I'm tired of it. This has been going on for so fucking long. Yeah. We've been saying this shit for so fucking long, and now people are listening. It's just like, we've been saying this. Why haven't you listened to us before?
Yeah.
This has been around. Why? Why just now?
It's not
like,
new.
I'm glad you guys are listening now, but it's nothing new.
Yeah.
Another guy has died in front of us.
Yeah.
There's been countless other videos with Eric Gardner, with Philando Castile. There's been so many videos. But just now we're like, oh, did you hear about this? Yeah. They're killing black people like hotcakes. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
It's been happening for so long now.
It's weird to think, like, were you guys alive for the Rodney King?
Yeah, they were.
That was
alive.
in 92. Yeah.
92.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
Young.
babies.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Like, I remember that, and it was just kind of like, and I was thinking about I'm like, okay, so that's twice now in my lifetime, and I can only imagine how many times it has been for other people. You know what I mean? And that's where I was just like, I don't know. Not to derail this is a good conversation, but that thing I just sent y'all, it's kind of uplifting. You may want to watch it. I want to see everyone's wonderful reactions to the helper that came to New York to help out.
Yeah, I just watched it.
Whoever that person is, that made my night a little bit.
on the Manhattan Bridge, a man who can only be identified as Spider-Man climbed up the side of the bridge, the side of a building, and is just like holding different signs. I don't know if I watched it long enough to like see anyone in specifically, but just kind of,
No.
It's all about Spidey.
You know what?
Spidey is New York.
It is cute, and I've seen another image with like Batman like in this fog of tear gas.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
If I see it again, I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cute, but I also kind of feel it's making a joke of the situation.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yeah, that is the problem. It's like, it's lighthearted, but then you're like, no.
It's someone pulling attention away from what's important.
Yeah.
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 Well, that makes sense.
It's a fucking clown.
Yeah.
It's funny, but now's not the time.
Yeah. No, but then another thing too is like sometimes also what I've been observing, because there's just so much shit online, but like one of the things I'm noticing too is people who are thinking they're helpful and they're just making it so much worse. Good example, I saw a clip where it was this there was this person that wasn't there was a non-person of color writing Black Lives Matter on a building. And then a black girl went up and said, no, stop. They're going to think we did that.
Okay,
You're not even black.
That video was amazing. And that's the video that, like, threw me for a loop.
Oh, seeing that one?
Because those two girls that wrote it, like, I couldn't tell what they were. because they had their faces all like scarfed up.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I'm not positive. Like, if you're like, I don't know the proper term for the for the women that wear, like I don't know if it was one of those or if it was two stupid white girls that were like, oh well, we don't have any face masks, so let's just wrap it like they do.
Yeah.
But either way, that black girl that got up in their face, I was so like, oh, I would follow that girl to hell and back. Like the way that she was like, don't you get it? I'm going to get blamed for what you just did. And they're like, but we're helping.
No,
and she was like,
you're not.
But you're not. Like, not to mention that was like a ma and pa shop she was spray painting on. Like, that wasn't like a Target.
Like, just in my head, all my views are, one, everyone who wants to protest, fine, but also know your precautions of doing it. Also, we're still in a pandemic. That didn't change. Yeah. Like,
again, A plot.
That didn't change. 2, looting because you feel the need to. You're still stealing. Like, if you get caught, what do you have to say? You're still stealing. And then for the people who are like, fuck cops, and then like bash their windows, you're still committing a crime. Like, when shit happens, things, what do you expect? It's like,
and when all those things happen, who are the people who are going to be blamed for it? All the black people, all Latino people, all the minorities. We're going to be blamed for all of that, no matter what happens. It's peaceful up until when it's not, and the people who get arrested for it are the minorities. Like, it's that's just a fact.
It's sad that like all those good old boys in the South are like gathering up their gear, and I'm like, where are you going to go? Like, are you going to come to California? No. Like, your trucks won't make it that far.
Like,
they're so horny for this.
Oh god, it's so upsetting.
Oh, yeah. Like, a lot of this weekend, I will admit, was wasted on like just watching things, like what was happening. Like, I think Friday or Saturday. Friday. It was Saturday was when it happened. So Saturday, for a good chunk of the time, or was it Sunday, I like had this dude's Facebook Live of him in downtown, and on the left screen I had the news. So they're in the same place. It's just the news will show me one thing, and this dude is just gonna show me this raw footage of like what's happening. And I didn't stop watching because it was like, if shit hits the fan, this guy's not gonna stop recording. Like, he's just documenting like everything. And the news I saw like looping. Like, there was a part where like they're all together, and then like this lady's fist bumping all the cops, and it seemed all peaceful, and then shit hit the fan and people started running. And then this dude with his freaking commentary and just like watching him, it was like there was a moment where everyone was just kind of holding hands or like hanging out, and then there was a band playing, and they're like, you know, the news will never show this. And then flash grenades. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I don't know why it's happening.
Did you
that's
see
the
that
one thing
picture
that's so frustrating.
Did you see that picture of that dude that got like, I don't know, 5 seconds of a pepper spray right in the face and stood his ground?
Is it the one with his hands in his pockets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, really, there's a lot of photos like that, but yeah, I did see that guy.
Well, that was the one that I saw, so like,
yeah. Hands deep in his pocket, and he's just standing straight up getting blasted in the face. And like, his body language is completely chill. It is not leaning forward. It is not aggressive in any way.
Yeah.
Like, he looked bored, and then he got hit by pepper spray.
Would you see that that congresswoman that got hit this morning?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
You guys saw it, like, or Anthony, you didn't see it, but like,
no. I did not.
Oh, she was pissed. Like, she's like a senator, not a congresswoman or whatever. She's like, she holds a seat in the Senate. Bottom line, doesn't matter. And she was like, we were peaceful. You came and sprayed us, and I know the law.
The same thing happened to another senator. They straight up, what is it? I think this is a senator, right?
Yeah, the black dude, he was pepper sprayed, and they like were arresting him or something.
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm your senator. Like,
Oh, I did hear about that.
Like, ooh, someone's getting fired. Stupid ass.
Hopefully, a lot of someone's.
No,
God.
they have been firing people.
This, oh God, it is a mess.
yeah, now,
I got it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
you are
like
not
with the
wrong.
video with
Yeah.
like that video in, I think it was Atlanta, where they instituted a 9 p.m. curfew, and then at 9:13 p.m. they stopped a car of 2 black college students who were just going home. They were not involved in the protest or anything. Cops stopped them, tased both the driver and the passenger, shattered their windows, pulled them out of the car, and all these things. And they didn't even know there was a curfew because it was announced at 9 p.m. and it was 9:13 p.m. when they were stopped by police.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you supposed to
Also,
do?
like,
Yeah.
Granted, 2 of those cops were fired, but
Yeah.
like, why did they feel the need to break the window? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
What were they doing? Or what did they think they were doing? You know,
That's like, this is what's also confusing me too, is because I get a lot of people are angry, and when it comes to cops, like, a lot of people are angry at the cops. But there are the good amongst the bad in there. When I see the clips of the ones that are, like, horrible, I'm just like, why? Like, there was a lot of clips, like, what is it? I guess, like, I don't know where this was happening, but someone had, like supplies. There was a truck that came in with supplies, and it was, like, water bottles and jugs of milk, just in case, like, the tear gas happened for people. Like, someone brought those supplies in. But there was a clip of, like, cops just picking it up and throwing it back into the truck. And everyone's screaming, like, what are you doing?
yeah, cops are destroying the water or just confiscating it. They're
Yeah,
like,
it's just like-
it's a peaceful protest. Why are you taking our water supply? Like, what?
That's the part that I don't get. Or, like, a lot of the celebrities who've been, like, going out and actually getting, like, injured and hurt because for whatever reason they're standing there, and I guess maybe they're too close or whatever happens, and then just, like, these cops are just full force, like, hitting with their batons, and I'm just like, dude, they were just standing there. Like, one of our friends was there at the protest, and they were really just standing there, and he got shot in the eye with a rubber the rubber bullets, and I was like,
Damn.
what the fuck? And it's just like, there's that. Then there was all the clips of the people who were just out, like they were just in the crossfire, basically, because, like, there was a lot of people, like, there was that girl, I think it was in La Mesa, where she was just trying to get groceries. She walked out, and it just so happened the cop shot, and she got hit. And her face got busted up, and it was just like, dude, like, the way they're going about it, like, even when I was watching that live, dude, I was like, you're like, obviously it's not something to be, like, calm about and, like, you know, watching, but, like, everything is tense. You're seeing these people who are standing maybe 10 feet away, and then there's this one dude who decides, I'm gonna stand 3 feet within this cop, and then just start provoking them. And it's like, it just takes one person, one angry person in the crowd, possibly, to throw something, and then everybody gets shot.
Well, this is also, you know, part of the issue is there have been, and I'm not saying everything, this is just, there have been documented situations where alt-right fucking dicks have been inside the protests and have incited the violence. They have incited and provoked the crowd to turn and push on the cops, and then the cops push back. And the cops are way more armed and ready for this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, every time it's always gonna be cops beating on people.
Yeah.
And it is. I understand, like, they have this training, but this training does not leave any room for, like, reasonable discourse. Like, there's no room in what we have seen of, like, you know, push a guy back and say, hey, let's talk. It's just, plow a guy with a shield and then pepper spray them. Like, as soon, it seems like a light switch. As soon as it gets bad, it's never going to come back on again. There's no more standing around. Now we're just going to swing nightsticks and rubber bullets.
Spray
and
little
just,
kids?
Yeah. Like, why did that kid have to get sprayed?
I don't know why that little kid got pepper sprayed, but she did.
And it's, and like you were saying, like, there are good cops.
Yeah.
And there are bad cops, and there are also a lot of quiet cops. The problem is, they all look the same. And so you, as someone who is in a protest, you're just going to be leery and afraid of all of them. And you're going to protect yourself regardless of even what they say they're going to do. Because at this point, we have seen a lot on the contrary, which is an issue about media, about what they keep showing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to kind of touch back quickly on what we were talking about like 5 minutes ago about the white girls spray painting the BLM. Like, again, like when I mentioned it's not our place to stand as white people with white privilege, it's our place to protect. If we are amongst a protest, or even if it is turned to a riot, our power is greater in making sure that if somebody is spray painting that, if there's a black man, woman, a minority of any kind looting, or looting may be subjective, but just spray painting, a relatively victimless crime, still a crime.
Yeah.
Like, protect that person from anyone who would do them harm.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's bad. And this past weekend, I've probably been on social media the least I have ever been in a long time, because it was just hard.
Yeah.
And that's fair, and I get that, but my problem is I can't do that. I have to watch because I have to know what's going on, because it affects me directly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not be informed. Like, if I didn't know there was a curfew yesterday, I could have went outside and I could have been arrested. Like, I just have to know these things, so I have to keep watching it, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was asking about curfew. Like, Jordan, you said you have one where you're living at, right?
Right. Today there apparently isn't one, which is cool. But yeah, they put out the alert yesterday for one. Like 6 p.m. was the curfew. It's like, really though?
I mean, ours here in L.A. County and Burbank, they've been at 5.
Yeah,
Like,
I heard that's so early.
Like, we have to shut down the store early. Like, I'm closing the store tomorrow probably 2 hours early. That's 2 less hours of business that I don't get. But, for the safety of people, I'll I mean, and I don't know if we're going to have a curfew tomorrow. I mean, we have one today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, the extra fucked up thing with LA is, they put out the thing, there's a curfew at 5 p.m. They put that one out in English, and then they put out a second one in Spanish that said the curfew was at 6 p.m.
Oh.
So, at that point, they're just setting people up to get arrested.
That's horrible.
It's been weird. Like LA County is 6, but like certain cities will do their own. Like Burbank was 5, but LA County was 6. So you're right. It is very confusing because I get all the alerts. So I was like, well, is it 5 or 6? Well, I'll just assume it's 5 and close up shop and go home. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday when there was a curfew, I was told, on Sunday. On Sunday, they said for the people who were downtown, there was a curfew at 7. Then there was people saying that there was a curfew in Poway, a curfew in, like, Spring Valley, and a curfew in Santee. But they were all, like, different times. But the people in between, like Mira Mesa,
they
didn't say shit. Like, it literally said Poway, Poway, Santee, and Spring Valley. Mira Mesa was not included in there. Anywhere in between that, nothing. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna I'm just gonna stay in.
Well, yeah, but I understand that just because that's where the
Things are
bigger,
happening. Yeah.
the bigger protests were happening. So it's just curfews in those places, but it's confusing.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Because like people,
like it should have just been county-wide. Like here's the curfew. Just like why make it confusing?
that's another thing too. Is just like okay, like I honestly don't believe any place is safe, really, because everyone was like, oh,
welcome to my world.
No, I know, but it's just like, and like in general, they were just like, oh, nothing's gonna happen in Mira Mesa. I mean, one of our stores got looted. You wouldn't think here, but it was. And even yesterday, it was just like, yesterday I tried to go to the bank for lunch, which was a bad idea because everyone decided to go to the bank where it was like 30 or 45 minute wait to get in. And then it was just like, I tried to go after work. They closed at 3. And then when I went to Target to buy stuff, as soon as I walked in, I think it was like 4:40, they were like, we're closing in 10 minutes. And some person behind me was like super impatient and was just like, why are you guys closing early? And they're like, because the riots.
Listen, Karen, you need to calm the fuck down.
I've been seeing that meme everywhere. Yeah, no, but that's the one thing that I was wondering too, was just like when it comes to like all the stores that just opened up, they're not really opening up anymore because everything that's happening. Just I don't know.
It's interesting how you could have protests with a bunch of white people with guns walking down the street and there's no fucking curfews.
To the Capitol.
Yeah.
To the steps of the Capitol.
Yeah.
Walk into the Capitol building in Michigan with guns.
Yeah.
And there's no curfew. And we have someone in the White House saying, oh, but you should probably listen to them. They're probably good people.
Well.
And now we have that same dude hiding in the bunker.
Yeah.
Because we have people protesting against police violence.
Or pushing a protest back for a photo op in front of a church.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Not even protesters, just people giving aid to other people. People who work at the church. Getting tear gassed so they can move away so there could be a photo shoot for the president. Just so he can hold a Bible backwards and upside down.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
It's not trending, but I didn't know what it was about.
I figured it was a Bible, but I mean, with his hands not being on fire, it was hard to tell if that was the book he was holding.
Yeah. It's repugnant.
It's just, and that's like another thing. Just like the people, I'm a Christian. I don't. The people were saying shit like that, like, oh, I'm a Christian. That's why all lives matter. And it's like, all right, if you're a Christian and you believe all lives matter, let me point you towards the parable of the lost sheep that is in the Bible, which is what?
Luke 15.
Matthew. Yeah, it's like Luke 15.
I just saw someone reference it.
About the shepherd who has 100 sheep, and then one goes off by itself, and then he starts going after that one sheep. Who's like, why are you gonna leave the 99 behind? Like, because that one's lost. Like, that's literally what Black Lives Matter is about. Mm-hmm. You help the one that's in trouble. If you have kids, say you have 3 kids, and one kid breaks his leg and is bleeding from the mouth, do you check the other 2 first? Or do you check the one that is bleeding from the mouth and has a broken leg? Which one do you go to first? All your kids matter, right? I'll get to you in a second, Philip. Just, stem the bleeding. Karen, Joshua, are you okay? Good? All right. Do you guys know what happened to Phil over there? No? All right, Phil. Let me help you out now. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I love how Karen, Philip, and Joshua are your go-to white people names. He's
not wrong.
Shut up, Josh.
No, you're not wrong at all. I just thought it was very funny. Those are the 3 you went too hard. I mean, you threw like a Benjamin in there, and it's just like, Yep.
I mean, every Josh I've ever met was white.
Yeah.
And probably every Philip.
I don't think I have an
Yeah,
answer.
now we're all thinking.
No, I've met a black Josh and a black Philip.
I know a black Philip, but
Black Philip is a goat.
I'd have a black
and
Philip.
Satan.
you
You got to watch out for Black Philip.
I have a black Philip, and I know a Filipino Josh.
Is that
not
double
not
up
the
then?
same? But
Yeah, I don't.
look, just because Filipinos are the blacks of Asians does not mean
It's not the same. Okay.
You want to pull this in?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
To rein it in, we're gonna do the game so we can have something fun to carry ourselves out on. But
Let's hope it's not that one question.
Yeah, God, no, because this is how I've been planning on doing this podcast all day. And fuck me if it's crossed my mind. Like, what if we get the racist question? Like, it fits, but then it just brings everything to a weird place.
No, I don't think we should ask that question.
I don't think we should, but.
Never, to be honest with you. I think we covered all of it when I said, hey, have you guys heard the rumor that we don't wash our legs? Like, I think that covered it all.
But something funny. I saw yesterday that felt real good, and I was surprised the impact that it had, but I think is a good way to kind of wrap up this section. Is what Nickelodeon posted on their channel and all their social media.
Yeah.
Speaking directly to kids, telling them that they're valid, telling them that like things are scary, but like to be the right person to do the right things. Like I was never a big Nickelodeon kid. Nickelodeon didn't have all the shows that I wanted to watch. It had some good stuff.
I think we're too old.
I think we're a little too old for Nickelodeon's prime.
Yeah. What was your go-to?
Nickelodeon.
So you guys missed out on Hey Arnold and Cat Dog.
But like even those.
When I was a kid, Nickelodeon was Nick at Night, and that's
Yeah.
what I watched. Was
And
all
that's
the
what I
old,
Love
like,
Lucy.
Which is
70s,
weird, yeah. It's just reruns. Like
Yeah.
I can't even remember like what Nickelodeon really had when I was a child. But it couldn't beat your Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh hell no! It was like pathetically not the same.
Yeah, and I think Cartoon Network, like, shit, launches early '90s. So I mean, in even Cartoon Network in the beginning, when it was a lot of fucking Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes and stuff, was still beating out Nickelodeon to me. But still, seeing that made me feel like a guardian of my childhood stepped up and put a warm blanket around me.
Where Disney at?
Yeah, where you at,
saying.
Disney?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Because clearly you the whitest of these motherfuckers.
That sucks though. You guys didn't get the greatness that was Keenan and Kel and all that.
Like I remember watching all that. And like the Kenan and Kel show is definitely after, like where I've tuned out from Nickelodeon altogether. But I remember watching all that, and there a handful of live action shows, live action shows with people, not cartoons.
I mean, live action is the correct term.
I mean, I
to me,
guess
at
it
least.
just sounded weird.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you getting
all the
at?"
Disney, the Disney the Disney live action movies have really tainted the definition of live action to me. We don't call Fast and the Furious a live action movie. It's just a movie.
Yeah, but
That's true, but
that movie's more animation these days anyway.
You're right.
Exactly.
Right. It's more cartoonish than anything else.
I love it though.
Live action makes sense to me because I've been watching a lot of anime, and it's like, oh, there's a live action anime. I need to watch this. But it's called dramas.
It always feels like to me when I said it, I'm like, no, it's not live action. It's not remaking an animated thing. But then I had to loop back in my head and it sounded weird. But I mean, back to the point. Like, I don't know if anyone else really felt that way of like of all the people and all the places who like the companies that I so respect for like really stepping up, like the CEO of Target. That was such a big move because like it's his shit that is getting burned down, and he's like, let it burn. But there was something about Nickelodeon that coming out felt real comforting when it's just words on a screen from a face I've never met. I guess
I thought it was a really cool. I thought it was really cool that they did that.
Yeah.
They paused broadcasting for 8 minutes and 46 seconds just to put up that message. It's all orange, and then just in white letters they say, you are valid. Here are the rules.
And specifically talking to children.
Yeah.
Like
and there's like a bunch of people like, oh, how dare you show this? Like, that's scaring my children. It's like, bro, you should tell your children
they should be
what
scared.
the fuck is going on. They should be scared.
Yeah.
Like if you are a white parent, it is your responsibility to tell your kid, like, hey, you were born with so much more power than all of these other minority kids. It's up to you to do shit right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I told you
because so many people did shit wrong.
I told you that. But we're writing about about a month into the pandemic. I was over at Don's house, and his youngest was chilling out. He was 22 years old, but anyway, so we were sitting out on a Tuesday, like drinking a beer on the lawn, and the kid's like super
6 feet apart.
Yeah, 6 feet apart. Kid's like super depressed, and I was like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And he's just like, "Oh man, my life was just starting. I'm just, I lost my job." And I'm like, "Yeah, everybody's life sucks right now." I said, "But what's really cool? And you can look at it this way, instead of being like a depressed little bitch, you can be like, oh, hey, look at that. I'm white, I'm good looking, and I'm young. The world really likes that. You're going to be fine. So how about you stop complaining?" Well, he didn't like that.
You can sit on this lawn, and no one's going to call the cops on you.
I'm like, you're sitting on a lawn on a Tuesday afternoon drinking a beer, and no one give a fuck. Enjoy it, man. Stop being a little bitch about it.
There's that video in La Mesa of a black dude just sitting outside, minding his own business, and the cop comes up to him like, "What are you doing out here?" and uses excessive force. That's what kicked off the protest in La Mesa. It's just like, it was just a black dude just minding his own business
on the live, and I didn't know how big that was gonna get. Obviously, because it was just like, oh shit, this is actually happening right now, and then it.
You guys don't understand. Like, how fucking scared I am most of the time when I go outside. Like, when I can actually go to my office, I walk to my office when it's still dark out by myself, and I have to hope that I don't fit a description. I have to hope that just one cop doesn't think that I'm up to something because I'm just walking around at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, when I'm always scared whenever I go outside, just because I don't know. I don't know if someone just has the wrong idea about me.
Yeah.
And to a lot of people, I seem paranoid. Like, I'm always looking around. I'm always looking over my shoulder. That's why every time I see stuff about to walk into the street, I stop her because I don't know if she sees. But I'm hyper aware of what's going on around me. I'm always paying attention to what's around me because I have to. That's just what's normal for me.
I'm socially distancing, hugging you from here.
Healthy distancing. Cyber hugs. Yeah.
I was hanging out with this person once, and we were walking around, and they wondered, like, why did I keep just looking around? And it was like, well, it's night, and I'm a black guy, and we're in Balboa Park. Like, I have to. I remember being at SDSU. Every time an alert went out, I was hoping to God, like, please not a black guy, please not a black guy. But every time it was a black guy. Every time I fit the description, every single time. And my classes got out at night. So I had to hope that, hopefully, when I could get to my car and nobody sees me. Every time I go outside, I have to think, how can I best stand out but blend in at the same time? I want to stand out so people are like, oh yeah, that's a black guy over there. And he's wearing bright orange. But I also want to blend in, so it's like if something goes down, they're like, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's not a part of it." Like, that's what I have to think about every time I go out, and it sucks. Yeah. But that's how I've just lived my life for I don't know how long at this point.
That's why you got to get yourself a white alibi. We're going to start selling white alibis. Just white dudes just walk around and vouch for you.
Did I ever tell you guys the story of this one time when I was still living in Mira Mesa? Me and my buddy David were walking around at night, and a cop stops us. And he's like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" I kept my mouth shut, and David, he's a white dude, he's like, "Oh, we're going to my friend's house." Like, the cop looked at me first, and then asked David, "What are you guys doing?" And David, I'm glad David was there, because he's like, "Yeah, we're just going to my friend's house." The cop's like, "All right, well, be safe," and he drove off. And I thank God he was there, because I don't know what the fuck was about to happen if he wasn't.
Like, this isn't midnight nighttime.
No,
this was
it's like 8 p.m.
Yeah, like,
and this is when we were in high school. Like,
yeah, like you're just walking on the street. There's no reason to stop you.
Yeah, we were on a sidewalk. We weren't doing, and we were just walking down the street.
Yeah. The only thing I can really hope for out of all of this is just change. Like, individually we do the best we can, and a lot of us need to do more. But like the frustration, we talked about in the beginning of just like there's a lot wrong, and the frustration is coming out in violence. We've been cooped up for over 2 months, just kind of stewing, and surprisingly enough, 2 months in quarantine did not drop any numbers on police brutality on minorities. That still stayed strong and carried through that whole time.
Yeah.
But as difficult as this time is for us, and we have to keep going. We can't recoil, and I'm talking to myself right now. We can't recoil and shrug away. Like, if we see opportunity to do the right thing, we have to do it. It is not just suggestion, it is obligation at this point. I was really hoping we could make a joke at some point, but
yeah.
Jordan, you want a minute?
No, I'm fine. It's just, it's 2020. This is the same shit that Tupac rapped about in '98. Like, this. Yeah, I do want things to change, but I don't think things will.
I completely understand why you would think about it that way. All right. Do we want to do the game, or are we maxed out on our on our emotional expenditure?
Let's do the game. Let's turn this around.
Okay.
Let's just hope it's not that question.
We are not doing that question. I'm putting my foot down. That is not going to happen.
That's because you could actually touch the ground. Because your desk is short.
Yeah. You just called him short.
That's what I thought she was going with. I was like, God damn.
I mean, I get it, but it's
I thought this would be more funny than it was offensive, and I'm sorry.
Straight for the jugular.
I mean,
oh no! Anytime we can tease you, Steph, it's funny.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, but you both are short.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Fucking Frankenstein over here.
I don't know. I don't have a follow-up with that. I just said I'm not.
Okay. I have added some questions to the list, so we have gotten back over 30. Let's see what we come up with.
I don't think I have the info to add.
Siri, please give me a number between 1 and 31. The answer is 31.
So it's one of your new questions.
Yeah, it's one of the new questions.
Okay.
All right. You can bring one famous person back from the dead. Who do you choose? And this
Bowie.
is for your personal, like a personal hang.
Like,
Bo-
for
Bowie.
any reason?
I mean, let's say for one day, you can bring back from the dead a single famous person for yourself.
Bowie.
Leland, you said Bowie. It's a solid answer, and it's one that I thought about when I wrote the question down. It would be good, but it's like, what do I want to do with a famous person for like a day? Like remove all of the like, oh, I want to see my family. Like, fuck that. That's not what this is about. This person is here for you for one day. Like I've thought back about like what about like hanging with Mozart for a day?
Well,
like really dig deep,
because you'd have to spend half that day explaining everything. Like,
no, like,
that's what I'm thinking. Like,
no, he's
when
not
they come
from
back,
this time period. So, like, the first 20 minutes is going to be trying to adjust him to be like, why is he not freaking out? Then the rest of the day is explaining, like, okay, so this is the future, and then it's not like you can be like, well, show me some of your favorite places, Mozart. All his places are gone. Like,
this is my favorite
we have to remove all that, because then we're only talking about dead people from the last 10 years that we don't need to give them a history.
well, no,
lesson.
I mean, just say like you could
think of it like Bill and Ted.
Wait,
like
so they come with the knowledge of who you are already, and you don't have to explain anything?
They have no issue. They have no issue with what is happening to them.
It is as though in the afterlife they've been watching what's been going on, so they know what's
pretty
up.
abreast of it.
Shit.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, yeah, it's only the people from the last 10 years who aren't going to like go into a culture shock.
Man, like the first.
Oh, I know. I'll bring back the Black Dolly. I'll be like, yo, who killed you though?
I was thinking, I'm like,
what's your life like?
I was thinking Marilyn Monroe, because find out. Were you alone at the end? Because I don't think you were.
It'd be an interesting way to go about it. Like, get some fucking answers.
Bring back Michael Jackson.
Go.
Just so he's the king of pop, all right. But I'm gonna ask him.
You don't have to answer your
Neverland.
questions. Yeah, the speak with dead spell does not make them tell the truth.
Yeah, unless you suddenly got like telepathy, I don't think it's going to work out for you in that one instance. You know what I mean?
Like, there's a lot of kind of like random people. I think it would be like just weird to get like the story of their life from their own lips. Like someone who's more recent. I think it would be cool to talk to Jack Kirby, like one of the major influences of modern comics, and like just get like, because he seems such a surly motherfucker.
Yeah.
That I want to know how much of that like is just like this persona. Like was he also like a good dude in elsewhere, and like what was going on in his mind? Like, is this a job? Like, did you have any kind of comprehension of like what is happening in your time where you are fucking the king of comics? I don't want to show him new art and find out what he thinks about it.
Like, my first thought was taking Bowie to Disneyland. Like, I want to see Disneyland through the eyes of
I'm
Bowie.
Sure he's been to Disneyland, though.
Yeah, but I haven't been there with him.
Good point.
I mean,
I too want to take Michael Jackson to Disneyland.
Oh. He's still.
What's this like for you?
How you feeling there, MJ?
He's shopping.
It's like a kid in a candy store,
frothing at the mouth.
Does he wonder why Captain EO isn't there anymore? He's just like, let me tell you why. Like,
let me show you this Neverland documentary.
It's like, do you take Bowie on Space Mountain and you both have a cosmic odyssey? Like, that's just got to be amazing.
Do you go with Bowie to Disneyland high? Like just tripping on something, or
I mean,
You go twice.
I mean, maybe
The
like
first time.
you only have one day.
halfway through
You
the
could
day.
go to Disneyland twice in one day.
Is it
Plus,
twice,
you're
or is
with
it just
Bowie.
going back?
They're
for
gonna
the same
let you
day?
ride it more than once.
Well,
I mean, that's true. Like, they're not going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bowie, who's returned from the dead." No, only one ride per customer. Like, you know. Or do you take him to like a museum and you like show me all your favorite paintings and tell me why they're your favorites? Like,
see,
get some insight from his point of view on the world.
I feel like from
man, you guys
Bowie.
have all great answers. I'm like first trying to think of like people who died, and all of them seem to be just like guys that I thought were really attractive. So the first person that I thought of was
Lee Thompson Young?
Ooh, dish.
Nailed
Then the
it.
second person I thought was like, oh, you know, it'd be funny
Michael
is
Clark
if I met
Duncan.
Tupac, just so I could be like, I'm like your biggest
I met
fan, or
Tupac,
I was
yes.
like your biggest fan,
Yeah.
and you could just tell me like,
Let me touch the
Yeah.
I have this poster of you. It covers my entire wall.
My
There's a
friends
mural
keep
on my
It's of you
ceiling.
shirtless, just thug life.
It's like
Steph,
my friends keep thinking I had this half-naked poster of you in my room, but I just want to show you to them. Like,
The
guys,
poster on my
check
room."
this out.
What if he goes, well, you want that picture now?
no, Steph. The question I have to ask you: when you meet Tupac, are you dressed like Poetic Justice?
With the hat and everything?
Oh, I mean, yeah. It's like,
Flannel tied around her waist.
Oh, God.
I
I
mean,
feel like
you
that's
went.
too much. But
You're going for the full Janet Jackson realness. Like,
You know what though? Like, get Tupac and be like, "Yo, who killed you?"
Yeah.
ooh.
He's like, oh, Suge. Like, no, well, we knew
Yeah,
that.
it's
Knew it.
okay, you
Called
know
it.
what?
I was gonna say, is his death a mystery, or is it one of those like
Yes, yeah, it's
mysteries?
That one. It's that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Got it.
The one with the finger quotes. The
Got
second
it.
one.
I know there
Allegedly.
was a third, but hold on.
Oh, I know. I would bring back Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh, yeah.
Her career.
Wait a minute.
She's not dead, but her career is.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, where are you going with this?
just like Leah Michelle.
Ooh.
I
Yeah, that was
know who
bad.
that is at all.
I just read something about her getting all bitchy about working on Glee was the hardest time of my life. Like, yeah, it's called work.
No. Wait, she said that?
Oh
or the
no,
other
she was
girl?
super.
no,
because
Leah
the-
Michelle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it turns out Leah Michelle is just a racist.
Yeah, so Leah Michelle is a horrible person. So what?
well,
so
obviously.
the stuff that you've been reading that says she made my life a living hell was the other actress saying, like, it was calling her out that she's been like she's had racial comments a lot about.
Well, look at her.
black
Of
people
course,
during
of
the
course,
season.
she looks like a terrible person.
Well, that's the thing. I was reading the comments, and they're like, from her character, is this really surprising to you guys? And I was like, yeah, because she was playing a character, but
She
then
wasn't
it's
acting.
like, oh,
She was
that's
not
just
acting.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I always thought I like somehow like related a lot to her on the show, but not like that. That's like
Because you love Barbara Streisand?
Because you're Jewish.
no.
Because you have two dads?
Because you
One being Jeff
want to
Goldblum?
be a
Oh,
singer.
yeah.
Okay, other than you being a female, you have no connection to her.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Did you go to a music school in New York?
No.
Did,
And I didn't sing Journey every fucking time.
like, did Kate Hudson fuck your boyfriend? No, I don't think she did.
No, she didn't. Thank God. She looked really good in that episode. Kate Hudson, she looked great. I was like, man,
Yeah, no,
you
she
look
did,
like a
she
real
did.
bitch, but hot. It's great.
That's what made it hot.
Yeah, real bitch.
Oh, you look like you hate me.
I think
Nothing turns me more on, or nothing turns me on more than somebody who hates me.
Oh, yeah. Look at my taste in girls.
Damn.
Ooh. I think Abe Lincoln or like George Washington, like a real founding
Hey, man,
father.
who shot
They
you?
would shoot
Man, was your
themselves
teeth
once
wood?
they saw what happened. Like,
Oh, oof.
like Abe Lincoln would literally pick up a gun and go, "You know what? I could live through this one. Shoot me again." Like,
God.
Oh, just for that, I'll bring back Hitler so I can kill him again.
Ooh,
No,
Different
so you
take
can
on the
have him in
question,
a room
but
with
solid.
two, with what is it?
Osama bin
Tootsie-
Laden.
Hitler, bin Laden, and the
Tootsie
Tootsie Roll.
Rolls. And shoot the Tootsie Rolls while he's sitting there looking at you.
it's still one of the most greatest, but also sort of perplexing things he's ever said. I was just like, but they're not that bad compared to
Yeah,
those
they're
two
not.
other people.
They're actually
Like,
delicious.
but they
The fact
are
that you would
apparently.
shoot them twice is like, God, there's that overreacting.
And Hitler's just sitting there like, ooh, das was hateful.
that was just. Wow, I didn't think we'd end on a Hitler joke, but you know, hey.
Oh, are we going out on that? Because I mean, I think that was a pretty decent German impression they did. I wouldn't mind it. This hateful motherfucker over here. I mean, I think there's like a lot of historical, like old historical, like a lot of the ones we mentioned are like in the last 50 years because they're kind of like idols to either us or our direct idols.
Oh, I got it.
What do you-
Jesus. Like, bro, what you think? What, like, with everything?
Yo, you really the son of God? Or you just a real good dude?
Can you really walk on water?
And he's like, how do you think I'm back, bitch?
Levitate right now.
Whoa,
Takes off like Chris Angel.
Fuck that. We saw Chris Angel do it.
What would be great about that is if we found that he like wasn't a carpenter.
I thought they've been
He
saying
just liked
so
to
much
whittle.
shit about
Yeah.
him. Like, Jesus.
He was just like, he's like, you whittle a dog once, you're a carpenter. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
Well, imagine if he was really just an illusionist, was way ahead of his time.
or is it,
insane.
or he's an alien.
No,
He's Kyle XY.
Wow, that's
he actually makes a big
motherfucking
reveal,
deep cut.
pulls off the robes, and he is Chris Angel.
It's been me all along.
You've been mind freaked.
Oh God! I was so disappointed when I went to the Luxor Hotel, and then you walk in there, and it's no longer the Egyptian theme; it's just a giant fucking poster of Chris Angel, and you're like, "You guys had a theme once. Can you go back
Really?
to that?" Like he
that-
takes up the entire pyramid. Is just this poster of him, and you're just like,
Oh, the entire
Oh, yeah.
side of it?
No, the inside. Like you walk
the
in,
inside.
and it's just this giant, and you're like, you know, Will Smith, he did a music video in here once, and made it look cool. It don't look cool now.
Well, but Leland, did Will Smith levitate above the pyramid? I think not.
Got a point.
That was one Chris Angel.
Yeah, but
got a point.
Will Smith would use the power of Xenu to do it, though.
Also true.
Good Lord.
That's who I'd bring back, L. Ron Hubbard, and punch him
Xenu?
so he doesn't create a religion.
You bring him back, though, and he's like, oh, that was just a joke.
You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
we know, but it didn't turn out
Damn.
that way.
I just got real high.
I got work to do. God, imagine that. Imagine L. Ron Hubbard comes back. He reveals, like, oh, this was just like, I was just like high on some coke and some Quaaludes, and I just wrote some shit down. And then in these last 12 hours of this temporary life that you've given him, he's like, I gotta tear all this down. I gotta destroy what I created. This was never meant to live.
Yeah, I think that's my two. I can't think of anything else. But watch, later on it's
Wait,
going to hit me.
your two is Tupac Shakur and Lee Thompson Young.
Yeah, because I couldn't think. I thought Robin Williams, but then I was just like, that means it would be fun.
I don't hate that one.
That would be a,
fun.
Yeah, I don't hate that one.
that would
either.
be a fun afternoon until he remembers he killed himself because of his depression.
That's why.
Yeah, let's
Then-
not bring that up to him.
Yeah.
What about Carlin?
That'd be cool.
That I get one last good Carlin album about now.
Yeah. Oh,
You have 24 hours with Carl. You spend the first 12 just updating
George
him to what's
Carlin
going
stuff.
on.
Yeah.
And then the last 12 is him filming one more special.
Who's that?
He's a stand-up
George
comedian.
Carlin? Yeah.
Oh.
I would like to be on
I'm
brand.
so confused.
I thought you guys were saying Carlton, and I was like, when did he die? I felt like that would have been news to me.
He didn't. His career did.
Oh, come on. I saw him guest host that new show on ABC the other day. That Who Am I? Or that Lie show. No, nothing.
What?
So there's a new show on ABC. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Lie to Me or Who Am I? And they have a guest of like B and C list celebrities come out, and they have 3 people come out, and each one says the same thing, like I was a spy, and then you have to guess through the questions of yes or no answers who is the spy.
The B grade celebrity has to guess.
Yeah, and there's 4 of them on the panel, and Carlton was one of them the other day. I only watched half the episode because hold on, you'll see. Because as Anthony was about to say, I'll stay on my brand because the 3 women came out, and all 3 women were like, I gave birth to my own grandchild through, whatever. And the second woman comes out, and then the third woman comes out, and I was like, I know that woman. Oh, that's Elvira. And Elvira guest starred as a pretend person.
Oh, shit.
On the panel. And then at the end of the panel, when the real woman was stood up, and she's like, yeah, I gave birth to my grandchild because my son and his husband couldn't, so I was the in vitro, rent a womb or whatever. Right. And they're like, and the host, who I don't remember who the host is. Oh, it's Anthony Anderson from Blackish. And he walks over to this redheaded woman, and he goes, and you also have a secret. She goes, yeah. She goes, I did not give birth to my own grandchild. She goes, but I did give birth to Elvira because that is who I am. And then she stood up, and everyone lost their shit. And I was
That's really cool.
I was like, no one recognized her? Like, I clocked her when I sat down.
I guess because we are who we are.
I mean, she was dressed very frumpy, very little makeup, hair down, and glasses. So I get it.
If Elvira walked by me and stood by me for 45 minutes, I don't think I would know that was her.
Now,
true, and I wouldn't blame you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not me.
And not even because you're just Steph, just because Elvira, the heyday of Elvira exists before you were born, more or less. It's through the 80s and early 90s. I don't blame you. Leela and I live in a different world than you all do.
Like, if she had subtle clues and maybe the getup, and maybe she did something that kind of was familiar, I would be like, hey. Yeah. You kind of look like, or you remind me of this person, but no.
No, she really leaned into, I'm an actress, and I'm playing the part of a woman that gave birth to her grandchild.
Yeah, no, I don't play that good. I told a guy at Jamba Juice, one of our customers, that he looked like Xerxes, because he did look like Xerxes.
From 300.
I didn't know that was an insult. I thought it was fine.
I mean,
because he said he wanted an orange juice.
Yeah, I don't think it's an insult.
That's what he said.
That guy had abs for days.
Yeah. He was fit.
Okay, so anyway, Anthony, you staying on brand, ...
Anthony being on brand, I think it would be funny to get Bram Stoker and then show him, Twilight. I just kind of see,
Bram Stoker's Twilight.
and just, see, this is what it's kind of come to these days. What do you think?
Is he like the vampire?
Vampires were a mistake.
Bram Stoker wrote Dracula.
Oh.
The book.
Oh.
He created Dracula. He is
more or less.
Yeah.
He is the master of the vampire in modern culture.
Yeah. The Dracula all derives from him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or I'd bring back Mary Shelley and show her the I Frankenstein.
Oh.
I was gonna say Van Helsing, but I honestly don't know which is worse in that situation.
Just bring somebody back to see what somebody else did with their shit, and just watch their reaction. This is what it's come down to.
Or if you want to be wholesome, just recreate that Doctor Who episode where they bring Vincent Van Gogh to the future and have an art historian talk to him about Van Gogh.
That would be nice.
That episode breaks my fucking heart.
It does.
I cry so hard when he realizes, I was good.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Because he didn't know.
It's Doctor Who
Vincent
episode.
Van Gogh.
Oh, okay.
You know the painter Vincent Van Gogh? Like, he is one of the most famous painters today. He did the Starry Night painting.
She'd know it if she
know
saw
what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
know
about?
the Starry Night painting.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
yes,
on
he's one of them. Like, I'm sure it is. But yes, Vincent Van Gogh is one of the most famous painters who ever lived. Right. During his lifetime, he never knew that, and he died in squalor. Like, he died very, very poor.
Yeah, I think he sold a painting.
Yeah.
Damn, and that
Yeah.
goes for like.
He only became famous after his death.
Ah.
He dealt with a lot of depression.
Yeah.
He cut his own ear off, Steph, and sent it to a girl.
You want to know why he hadn't heard from her?
See, I would ask him about that. Like, what'd you do with that ear, though? What happened? You know, like...
Yeah, just, like, tell me your thought process. What was going through your head other than that blade during all this?
It just turns out he had just a terrible case of Chunibyo. He's like, oh, this would be pretty cool.
Like, and how many times did you try this? Did you get it in one?
Oh,
I don't think an ear comes off like
sure
like
it
you
didn't.
like you think it would.
And then he drops the bomb. He's like, oh, well, sending the ear worked better than when I sent her my dick.
Well, all the paintings of his dick really weren't, getting her attention.
Okay.
Vincent Van Gogh, the original Dick Picturesque man.
It was all wavy and shit, you know?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he was an impressionist.
Starry Night's actually just a night picture of his dick.
He was an
Still-
impressionist, not a surrealist.
Yeah, still better than Dahlia's dick pics.
Or Picasso when he went through his blue the period where it's just like lines.
Nothing like some classical art jokes to really round out a podcast.
Yeah. Whose dick pic is this? Oh, that's Sagat's. How can you tell? Because it's pixelated. Okay.
Either that or Monet.
You should see the Pollock one.
I think
Yeah,
we
Jordan,
have.
what does your dick pic look like?
Christ.
Look, my great uncle Jackson, he painted the most
Luscious.
odd dick pics.
If you squint, you can see it. Okay.
Christ.
All right. All right. Leland,
Yeah, hit me.
I want you to take us out.
I'm ready. Hit me.
Say
Do it.
everything.
Do it. Run it.
Everything? Oh, no. I've only
No,
been
just-
practicing the one.
I want you to take the hosting reins and close us out.
Steph, socials, go.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Stephanoids, STEPHUHNOIDS.
He meant for the show.
Oh,
All of it's fine. It's all going to have to get asked anyway.
okay, so we're going to start by Anthony, what is our email address?
But no, Steph, you have to say the socials
Yeah,
for the
but
show.
I was going to take us out, so this is me doing Anthony's job to take everyone out.
No,
That was
Leland's
Leland's
taking
job.
us out.
Oh,
Leland asked you to tell us the socials for the show.
oh. So what answer do you want from me?
The social media for the show.
Our social medias are Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at LORC Podcast.
Wow.
Or the League of Ridiculous Conversations on Facebook.
I feel like I just went on a journey, y'all.
I don't even know what to ask next. I feel everything was included, but not. Anthony, where can they find us?
if you want to subscribe to this podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, the Spotify, and Google Play, to name the ones that matter most.
I don't remember the third thing you asked, so Jordan, just go.
It's your question.
You can email us. You can email us at lrcpodcast@gmail.com.
Not the email.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's where I got cut off. Go ahead. What's our email?
lrcpodcast@gmail.com. That's where you can email us.
Now, Jordan, where can they...
Tell us who you would like to bring back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, where can they find you if they want to follow all your insanity online?
You can follow me on social media at Jordan is a Bear. I'm on basically everything that matters, so do that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony.
You can find me on the Twitter at Graphite Night and on Instagram at Spooky Spookington.
Do I ask Steph again, or are you just going to take from the original and cut it in, or should I say...
Hey, you're running it, man. This is your outro.
Steph?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Stephanoids. STEPHUHNOIDS. I play things. I post stuff. Watch me.
Or else. Shake fist.
2 words.
See, you got
you
got angry out of that. I got like, watch me. I'm Leland. You can find me on Instagram at Leland Pierce Art, or you can go to the Facebook, but no one seems to. So stick with Instagram.
It's because you don't find new things on Facebook.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Got to go to Twitter for that.
Yeah, no. Twitter's a dark, dark place. No. Yeah. But anyway, you want to finish it up? Because I don't know how you usually roll this out.
All right, however you want to do it.
That's us for this week, so we'll catch you next week. I'm Leland. Jordan.
I'm Jordan.
Steph.
I'm Steph. Anthony?
Spook.
Oh.
And I'm Anthony.
All right, bye.
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 That was terrible. I don't know why you make me do that.